Uh, Damn it. Everything's starting to go black. It's over.
Big brother? Hey, big brother!
I'm just glad that you're okay. Don't worry.
Big brother! Hey, wake up! No!
0 customers, again. Why is it so quiet? Even though the restaurant next door is so busy. My name is Koichi Mizuhashi. I'm 30 years old and working as a sushi chef. My family have all been sushi chefs since my grandfather's generation, and I'm currently the 3rd generation owner of our family business. I've been training in this sushi restaurant ever since I was a little kid, but my dad recently passed away from cancer. Before he died, I was excited to be able to stand on my own 2 feet as a sushi chef alongside him. But now he's gone and I'm all alone. I have no idea what I'm doing. Both my grandpa and my dad are gone, and my mom passed away before I was old enough to have any memories of her. I've got no one else in the world, so this restaurant is the only thing that keeps me connected to my family. It's an important family heirloom, so I've decided that I've got to do whatever it takes to protect it. I've got to keep it running, but there's just one problem. Why, oh why did they have to build a freaking Moni sushi restaurant right next door? As you can see, the nation's favorite sushi chain restaurant has come to town, and they've gotten comfortable in the location right next to my own sushi restaurant. They opened a year ago and have been busy ever since. My family's restaurant is kind of small, and most of my regulars are customers that have been coming to eat at my restaurant since my grandpa was running it. But unfortunately for me, the few loyal regulars I have started going to Moni Sushi because of how popular it is with their kids and grandkids. I've seen some of them pass by my restaurant looking guilty as their grandkids beg them to take them to Moni Sushi. I'm not surprised, since kids are obviously going to enjoy sushi that revolves around the store on a conveyor belt. The lack of footfall has made me pretty worrisome. But there's one other thing that bothers me. Hey, are you still running this lovely old place? What's the point? It's completely empty. Hurry up and shut down, would you? I can smell the mold from inside my own restaurant. If you're not going to eat, then I'll have to ask you to leave. Why would you say that? It's not like you have any customers to bother. Or are they so small I can't find them? Seriously, doesn't this guy have anything better to do? Why can't he leave me alone? This is Takeo Kori. He's a store manager at the Moni Sushi next door. He's been a real pain in the ass ever since they opened up, and comes to make nasty remarks. I feel bad for you, man. I guess you didn't have any chance of going up against a popular sushi restaurant like ours. It's clear that you're the loser. Why don't you give up already and close? Oh, how about I buy this land for you? It'll be perfect for making an extra parking area. He just doesn't know when to stop talking, though I'm sure he's fully aware of what he's saying. However, I have no intention of letting go of this sushi restaurant. It's a family business that I inherited from my dad, and he from his. Every day on his lunch break, he comes to bother me, provoking me with his petty insults. And when he's done venting, he returns to work. Personally, it made me a lot more depressed having to deal with Kobori rather than seeing the number of customers decrease. I wish that I could sue him for obstructing my work, but with no customers around, I doubt I'd stand a chance in court. I could only listen to him go on and on. Anyway, can you hurry up and hand over your property? My bosses have been talking about making this area into a parking lot for a long time now, and you're just wasting our time. Unlike this empty old place, my restaurant is getting more and more customers every month. And we really need the parking spaces. I've already told you 100 times I'm not letting go of this restaurant. Even if I do have to shut down, I'm certainly not selling the property to someone like you, so give up already. What a pain in the ass. I don't know what you're getting so worked up over. Is it really worth protecting this dump when you don't have any customers and you're not making any money from it? I'm looking forward to this day you'll realize that you're better off selling it to us. Damn him. A few hours later, it was already time for me to close up for the night. I had waited for so long, but nobody came to eat. But I could still see droves of people walking into the Moni Sushi next door. This really is unbearable. In the end, I only had 2 customers come in at lunchtime, and that was it. If only I could have at least 10 customers come in today, then it would make up for the loss. Just when I was thinking that, the door of the restaurant opened. I was delighted and looked up to see who had come in. Welcome. Take a seat.
Good afternoon.
Hey, little girl, are you alone?
Yeah.
What do I do? The little girl was skinny, frail, and it was clear that her parents were neglecting her.
Mister? Here you go.
What have you got?
Can you give me something I can eat with this?
The little girl took what she had in her hand and placed it on the counter above her head. It was a penny. Judging by how small she was probably still an elementary school student, but there was no way that she didn't know its value. All right, I'll make you the best sushi you've ever eaten. So just give me a second.
Really?
Of course. So let's have a little chat when you're full, all right?
Thank you, mister.
So I made up my mind to treat the little girl to a full plate of sushi. She ate everything I had prepared for her like it was really delicious and didn't leave anything behind. It made me really satisfied to see someone eat the sushi I had prepared so happily. And it reminded me that this was why I enjoyed making sushi. To see the person's face light up with a smile when they ate was the best praise I could receive.
It's all so yummy. It's the first time I've eaten sushi like this. It's the best.
I'm really happy to hear that. It's an honor for a sushi chef to be praised with a smile like that. My name is Koichi Musahashi. What's yours?
My name is Asuna.
That's a lovely name. So, Asuna, can you tell me where your parents are?
They're not here. My mommy left a long time ago. And my daddy only comes home sometimes. But when he does come home, he doesn't talk to me. And he's always angry. I don't like it.
Asuna, what do you eat when you're at home?
My daddy sometimes leaves some coins. But he hasn't been home for a while. And I ran out of money. That's why.
Asuna's tears fell onto the counter. And I didn't have to hear anymore. It was an obvious SOS signal. She needed someone to help her. I walked around the counter and crouched down next to her seat as I hugged her. Her body was so skinny and so fragile that I felt I might break her. My chest went tight as I cried with her.
I'm sorry that I only had 1 penny. I knew that it wasn't enough, but my tummy. I'm sorry.
Asuna, it's not your fault. It's your daddy's fault for not taking care of you. It's okay, Asuna. This big brother will do everything I can to help you. But saying that, I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I knew that if I called the police, they would take custody of Asuna. But would that be enough to make her happy? There wasn't a lot I could do for her being a complete stranger, so I had no choice but to leave it to the professionals. I reached for the phone in order to call the police, but right that second, the door of the restaurant opened once again. You really are stubborn, aren't you? Shut the place down already. What? You again? I'm busy right now, so I want you to get out. What the hell is she doing here? What? Who are you talking?
Daddy!
Daddy? Shocked, I looked from one face to the other. Well, I guess you could say there's a resemblance. But most importantly, if Asuna's story is true, then it means that this guy is the reason why Asuna is suffering. Excuse me, I've already spoken with Asuna, and when I tried to question him about the state Asuna was in, Kobati went pale and grabbed Asuna by the arm. I stopped him before he could drag her out of the door. Hey, wait a minute. I'm not done yet. Why do I have to listen to you? Are you happy feeding my kid with the crap you call sushi? Who do you think you are? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm asking about... However, they had both left the restaurant before I could ask him why he had been leaving Asuna in such a condition. What am I supposed to do now? Just imagining what kind of treatment Asuna was receiving at home, or the lack of it, made me feel like my heart was being ripped out of my chest. But I didn't know where Kobati lived, and even if I tried following him home after closing hours, what then? Besides, if he hasn't been going home, then where has he been all this time? Asuna said her mom was gone, so he's all she has left. My thoughts went around in circles, and it was a little early, but I decided to close the restaurant for the night. I thought about it all night, but I couldn't figure out the best solution. I couldn't concentrate on my work, and I had already given up on having any customers. And it would only make things worse if Kobati turned up, so I was thinking about closing up and going home when I looked out of the window and saw Asuna walking on the other side of the road. Asuna, she's come to see me again. I rushed out of the restaurant and stood outside to welcome her in with open arms. But Asuna was pale and it looked like she could fall over at any minute. It was strange, since I had given her plenty to eat the day before. In any case, it was clear that I urgently needed to get her inside ASAP. The pedestrian light was still red and it took a frustratingly long time to change. But probably because of how unwell she was, Asuna didn't notice that the light was still red and walked out into the road, stumbling as she went. Asuna, stop! Asuna, are you okay?
Big brother! I'm so sorry! I don't know why I walked into the road. I'm sorry.
I thought you were having trouble focusing, Asuna. I know you're not feeling well, so let's go into the hospital after this, okay? Ugh.
I'm fine, big brother. I'm okay. We've got to help you first. What do I do? Someone, what do I do?
It's okay, Asuna. Don't worry about me, as long as you're okay.
But why?
Because you said that the sushi I made for you was yummy. I was really happy about that. I won't forget it.
Big brother!
Oh, damn it. Everything's starting to go black. It's over.
Big brother! Hey! Big brother!
I'm just glad that you're okay. Don't worry. Where am I?
Hey, you're awake?
Where's...
It's okay. You don't have to talk. I'm going to call the doctor. Just wait a minute.
Wait, before you go, there was a little girl that was with me.
She's fast asleep in the bed next to you. Don't worry. She's okay too.
Really? Thank God.
Just make sure that you rest up as well.
Yeah, thanks. It looks like I had survived by the skin of my teeth. The person driving the car wasn't speeding and had called for an ambulance right after the accident. So my injuries weren't that serious and I was taken to the hospital without much delay. From the driver's point of view, and I had jumped into their path, and even though they had been driving safely, it was clearly not their lucky day. But thankfully for us, they didn't drive away from the scene of the accident, and they were kind enough to call an ambulance for us. I was extremely grateful for that. I just hoped that they wouldn't be charged with dangerous driving considering the circumstances. I looked over to the hospital bed next to me and saw Asuna, connected to an IV. She really was fast asleep, and I was relieved to see that she was okay. Thank God she's not hurt.
You were lucky your injuries weren't much worse.
And thank you very much for treating me.
I believe that the police and your lawyers want to talk to you about the accident after this. But before that, there's just one thing I'd like to talk to you about. I think that you should know.
You want to talk about Asuna, don't you?
Yes. She's suffering from chronic malnutrition. And I'm sure that you can tell that her skin is in bad condition. Her teeth are no better too. It looks like she's been neglected.
I knew it. Why was she so unsteady on her feet today? I gave her as much sushi as she wanted yesterday until she was full. What happened?
We won't know for sure until we talk to her guardian, I'm afraid. The police are coming to collect her, so it's likely she'll be put in custody.
What will happen to her after that? What's going to happen to Asuna?
When she's done being treated for her malnutrition, she'll probably be taken to a foster home. As far as I can tell, she has no other place to go. She's definitely not going back to her old home.
Really? She won't have to go back home? Thank God. Asuna, you're going to be happy.
She was lucky that she met you when she did, before it was too late.
I haven't done anything for her. All I did was prepare some sushi for her.
And she was happy that you did that for her. That's why she tried to go and see you again, didn't she? I'm sure that she felt that she could trust you after the kindness you showed her. Children are very intuitive about that sort of thing, after all. Thank you very much for helping her and bringing her to our attention.
Yeah. By the way, my injuries wouldn't need a lot of recovery time, so I decided not to make a big deal out of it and only received the medical bills from the driver without taking them to court. It was my own fault for jumping out when it was still a red light, and the driver had been doing their best to handle the situation from beginning until the end. I had no reason to sue them. I was discharged from the hospital within 3 days and went to visit Asuna whenever I could. Whenever I went to see her, there was always a police officer or a lawyer or a social worker visiting, and I helped them with their investigation by answering whatever questions I could and telling them what Asuna had told me. Up next is the news from Ruki City. Takeo Kobori, age 35, the store manager of the Town A branch of Moni Sushi, was arrested earlier today under suspicions of child abuse. The allegations were made when his daughter was found suffering from malnutrition when she was taken to the hospital after a stranger saved her from being hit by a car. A week after the car accident, Kobori was tracked down and finally arrested by the police. And his whereabouts led us to find out something unbelievable. Shockingly, Kobori had already divorced Asuna's mother and was currently living with a completely different woman in another apartment. On top of that, the woman that he was living with had no idea that Kobori had a daughter and was unaware that he had been married before. It was explained why he had barely returned to the house where Asuna was still living. It seems that Kobori had left Asuna in their old house because he didn't know what to do with her, since his ex-wife refused to take Asuna with her when she left.
That little brat. I can't believe she had the nerve to go and ask that shabby old sushi restaurant for help. If only that idiot had given in to selling his restaurant. That way, I would have my parking lot and I wouldn't be here right now.
When I heard what he had said, I was trembling with anger. But luckily for Asuna and I, he was going to get the punishment he deserved. Something much worse than I could ever imagine. Huh? Sentence Springs was on sale today. I wonder what article they got today. Store manager of popular sushi restaurant arrested for child abuse. Read for details of his power harassment at the restaurant. Well, if that doesn't get people curious, I wonder what will. As you see, Kobori wasn't just guilty for neglecting Asuna. He had been bullying his staff for years, and after his arrest, some of them had plucked up the courage to leak evidence of his behavior to the gossip magazines. Then, when some of those magazines investigated Kobori, they came across information about how I had saved Asuna and came to the restaurant to ask me for an interview. I decided to tell them everything I knew, which in turn led to some news channels coming in to ask me for interviews as well. I accepted their request for me to appear in their interviews as long as they would advertise my sushi restaurant and completed one interview after another. As a result, the Moni Sushi branch that Kobori had been manager of ended up in the center of a media storm, and they were forced to shut it down. Although Kobori was a terrible manager, Moni Sushi wasn't at fault. They might not be able to reopen another branch in this town, but I hope that they do well elsewhere. Finally, Kobori received a suspension of 2 years for his sentence. After spending a month in hospital, Asuna was taken in by a local children's home. Of course, I considered taking her in myself, but I didn't have the confidence to raise a child when my only means of income was a sushi restaurant that was on the verge of bankruptcy. Besides, I believe that Asuna would find a normal home that would give her the love and care that she deserved.
Hey, big brother, can I come to eat sushi here again?
Of course you can. Then I've got to do my best to make sure that this place doesn't disappear until you come back.
You'll be okay. The sushi you made me was the best sushi I've ever eaten. You'll get a lot of customers soon. Don't worry. Your sushi is the best in the world, big brother.
Thank you. I hope that you'll be happy with your next family, Asuna. I'm looking forward to when you can come and eat sushi with them, and I'll work hard until then.
Yeah.
Welcome. Hey, can I have 2 of the bluefin tuna sushi?
Sure thing.
Man, the sushi here is amazing. Conveyor belt sushi is fun, but it doesn't beat the non-revolving kind.
You're right. They're praising me. It's been 5 years since that incident, and thanks to the promotions made by the TV programs I gave interviews to, my restaurant has become renowned for the sushi I make. In the past couple of years, I've been so busy, I've had long queues of people waiting outside to eat my sushi, and I've even appeared on TV without the help of any power harassment, child neglecting dumbasses. It looks like I'll be able to keep my promise of protecting the restaurant until Asuna comes to visit with her new family. I just hope that her new family has made her happy and has given her everything she wants. By the way, Asuna's biological father, Kobori, ended up suffering a lot more after the truth of his neglect and abusive behavior at work came to life. First of all, the woman he had been living with didn't find out about the incident until some reporters came to ask her for an interview, and she was humiliated. When she did hear about Asuna's experience, she was so furious with Kobori that their argument ended up involving the police. According to some rumors I heard, Kobori's girlfriend was pregnant at the time and had even resigned from work in order to prepare for getting married and raising their baby. It was understandable that she would be so enraged with him. On top of that, those rumors ended up spreading around town and spiraling around on social networking sites, and Kobori became the most hated man in the country for a short time. I didn't know how much of it is true, but apparently his pregnant girlfriend demanded a large amount of compensation from him, and Kobori has started working for a cabaret club as a valet as a way to pay off his debt. A lot of stuff has been written on the net about Kobori, so at this point, it's hard to tell what's actually true and what's not. But one thing I can say for sure is that he's not enjoying the life he has now and is suffering for all his crimes. For a while after the incident, I was worried that he might turn up at my restaurant and make trouble, since he had been blaming me for everything that had happened, and even installed a home security system, but it looks like he's so busy working that he hasn't even had time for that. All right, it's almost 5 o'clock. It's time to prepare for the reservation. You might have guessed it already, but I've actually got a very important customer booked for this evening.
Big brother, good evening.
Asuna, welcome back. You've gotten so big.
Of course I have. I'm already 15 years old.
I can't believe 5 years have passed already. And today's the day that we fulfill the promise that we made to each other the last time we met. The truth is, I got a letter from Asuna that was mailed to this restaurant last year. In her letter, Asuna told me about how it was decided that she would be adopted and that she had met her new parents, who were really kind people. She let me know that she would be coming to visit me with her parents on the 1-year anniversary of their life together, and she wanted me to make a reservation for that special day. So you're the gentleman that saved Asuna that day. You're exaggerating. I never saved her. It's lovely to meet you. And thank you so much for adopting Asuna.
When we first met Azuna, the carers of the children's home told us about the incident, and it really was heartbreaking. We felt that we were meant to meet her and make her happy, especially since I can't have children.
I'm glad that you were able to find each other, and I'm relieved that you all look so happy together. Asuna, you deserve it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, take a seat. I prepared a special course meal, especially for you and your family.
I can't wait to eat. Listen to this. Mom, Dad, Big Brother Sushi is the best sushi in the world. It's delicious.
I've heard. I can't wait either.
Let's come and eat here next year, and the year after next. It'll be our tradition. Yeah.
Here you go. 1 bluefin tuna nigiri.
Oh my God, it's been ages. I'm digging in.
Just like that day 5 years ago, Asuna ate everything I prepared for her as though she had never eaten anything like it. She was smiling from ear to ear with every sushi I handed her. But Asuna, I should be the one thanking you. The smile you gave me that day, the way you told me that everything was yummy, you have no idea how much that helped me to have faith and carry on my work despite everything. Asuna, thank you so much.
Huh? What are you thanking me for? I'm the one that's grateful for you saving me. Thank you, Big Brother.
All right, next up, salmon nigiri.
It's also yummy. I'm so happy.
After that, Asuna and her parents came to the restaurant to celebrate the anniversary of their becoming a family every single year. That incident was something that should have never happened, and it's an event I won't forget. But I think that meeting Asuna and the effect that she had on my life was still the best thing that ever happened to me. I wish the best for her, and that she gets everything she wants and needs from her new family.